Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! The football world in Scotland has been sent into a whirlwind of speculation and whispers after the latest rumblings surrounding Brendan Rodgers, the man at the helm of Celtic. For weeks, insiders and pundits have been hinting at unrest behind the scenes, a sense that something monumental could be brewing, but few could have anticipated the gravity of what is now being suggested. The murmurs began quietly through closed-door meetings and offhand comments in press conferences, almost like a secret code being passed among the club's hierarchy and those closest to the squad. Sources close to the manager suggest that Rodgers himself has been wrestling with a decision that could not only alter the course of Celtic's future, but send shockwaves across the entire Scottish Premiership. Fans, of course, are frantically dissecting every interview, every gesture, every social media post, hunting for clues that might confirm or deny the impending seismic shift. The atmosphere in Glasgow has become electric with anticipation and anxiety as supporters debate whether their beloved manager is truly on the verge of departing or if this is simply a masterstroke of media manipulation designed to unsettle rivals. Conversations in local pubs, online forums, and fan groups are dominated by speculation, each theory more dramatic than the last, painting pictures of a Celtic without the guiding hand of Rodgers, a prospect almost unimaginable given his track record and influence over the squad's identity. According to whispers from insiders, Rodgers' contemplation isn't purely professional. It appears to be a complex blend of personal considerations, ambition, and a sense that his time at Celtic might have reached a natural conclusion. Those close to him indicate he has been increasingly reflective, weighing the potential opportunities elsewhere against the legacy he has built in Glasgow. A legacy marked by domestic dominance, tactical evolution, and a charismatic rapport with players and fans alike. This rumor, floating on the edges of credibility, suggests that Rodgers is exploring avenues that could take him beyond Scotland, perhaps to a league where the financial and competitive stakes are dramatically different, a move that could redefine not only his career trajectory but also the landscape of Scottish football. Speculation runs rampant about which clubs might be interested, ranging from established Premier League sides to ambitious projects across Europe, all eager to secure a manager with his caliber. Pundits on talk shows are dissecting his every move, suggesting that even minor absences from training, unusual post-match interviews, or subtle hints in public appearances might be strategic signals of his intentions. Celtic's board, meanwhile, are reportedly in a delicate position, having to balance reassurance to fans with internal discussions about succession planning, yet nothing has been publicly confirmed, fueling even greater speculation. The Scottish football community is collectively holding its breath, imagining a scenario where the Hoops could face a transition period of uncertainty and upheaval, where the question of leadership becomes as intense as any derby on the calendar. Rumors have even reached the players themselves, sources claim, with some squad members said to be privately anxious, aware that the manager's potential exit could radically alter training routines, tactical approaches, and morale. The locker room dynamics are reportedly being closely monitored by staff, who understand that if Rodgers departs, the psychological impact could resonate across the entire season. Fans, meanwhile, are theorizing endlessly about who might step into the void, conjuring names ranging from seasoned veterans with Scottish experience to international tacticians known for innovation and flair. Social media platforms are alight with hashtags, speculation threads, and poll after poll as supporters attempt to predict the next chapter for their club. Commentators are framing the story as not merely a managerial change but a cultural shift, recognizing the profound imprint Rodgers has left on the club, from youth development to the team's tactical identity. The idea that he could walk away, quietly or dramatically, has created a sense of suspense reminiscent of the greatest soap operas. What every gesture is scrutinized, every interview dissected, and every tweet becomes a potential clue in the unfolding narrative. Even casual observers of Scottish football are captivated, recognizing that a Rodgers departure would be a story not just for Glasgow, but for the sport nationally and internationally. The tension has become almost tangible, with speculation almost eclipsing reality as everyone from journalists to fans debates whether this is a calculated move, an emotional decision, or simply a story yet to fully materialize. There are also suggestions that Rodgers' decision could be influenced by external pressures, whether from agents, family considerations, or opportunities that promise new challenges and resources. Rumors circulate of meetings in undisclosed locations, late-night calls, and cryptic exchanges with figures in the footballing world who may be positioning themselves as future employers. These whispers fuel the narrative that a departure is not only plausible but imminent, heightening the drama surrounding a club historically associated with stability under his guidance. Analysts on sports programs speculate that even subtle changes in transfer policy or team selection could be interpreted as signaling a transitional phase, hinting at a manager who may no longer be fully invested in the long-term projects within the club. Discussions in media circles suggest that Celtic, if Rodgers exits, could find themselves navigating a precarious period of uncertainty, potentially impacting performance, fan sentiment, and even commercial operations. Yet the very ambiguity of the situation adds to its intrigue, with every new rumor, however unverified, feeding a frenzy of opinion pieces, fan debates, and social media speculation. The Celtic faithful, known for their passion and intensity, are reportedly bracing for the worst while hoping for clarity, caught between loyalty to a manager and the fear of losing the architect of their club's recent identity. Observers note that if Rodgers does leave, the announcement will likely be a cultural earthquake for Scottish football, drawing attention from media around the world, eager to analyze both the reasons behind the move and its implications for a league historically dominated by his strategic influence. Insiders also hint at subtle shifts in Rodgers' behavior that may have gone unnoticed to the casual observer, but are significant to those who track managerial psychology. Small changes in press conference demeanor, rare moments of hesitation during interviews, and nuanced interactions with the squad have all been cited as indicators that a major decision looms on the horizon. Journalists familiar with the manager's patterns suggest that he may be attempting to mentally prepare both himself and those around him for a future that might not include his continued presence at Parkhead. The idea that he could be weighing departure options while still maintaining appearances fuels a sense of suspense akin to watching a thriller unfold in real time, where every act and dialogue is laden with hidden meaning. Fans speculate endlessly, comparing his tenure to previous managerial exits across the league, examining patterns that might indicate an impending announcement, and theorizing about how quickly a replacement could be identified. Some even posit that Rodgers could orchestrate a dramatic exit, leaving the club in a swirl of uncertainty that could impact morale, media narratives, and rivalries alike. The story has grown beyond simple managerial news, becoming a captivating saga that unites speculation, emotion, and intrigue, making every headline, interview, and social media post a potential piece of a larger puzzle whose final picture remains tantalizingly out of reach. There's also chatter about the potential ramifications beyond the immediate club environment, as Rodgers' exit, if it comes to pass, could trigger a domino effect throughout Scottish football. Rival clubs, already attuned to shifts in managerial stability, might find themselves recalibrating strategies, scouting replacements, or even reconsidering their approach to player recruitment. International attention could follow, with journalists and analysts drawing comparisons to other high-profile managerial movements across Europe, pondering the broader implications for competitiveness, financial balance, and media coverage in the Premiership. The narrative, as it currently stands, is a mix of conjecture, insider hints, and emotional speculation, creating a potent blend that fuels fan anxiety while simultaneously driving immense engagement across all platforms. Observers note that the story has all the hallmarks of a classic managerial saga: personal decision-making, professional ambition, club legacy, and the ever-present element of unpredictability combined with a fan base whose passion amplifies every minor development. Even local business communities, sponsors, and commercial partners are reportedly monitoring developments closely, aware that a shift at the top could impact broader operations, media rights, and promotional strategies. As the rumour mill continues to churn, the Celtic faithful, alongside the wider Scottish football ecosystem, remain locked in a shared anticipation, collectively imagining a world where Brendan Rodgers, the figure who has shaped an era, might suddenly be absent, leaving questions of succession, strategy, and ambition hanging in the balance. The intensity of speculation is further amplified by comparisons to previous managerial exits, both at Celtic and across rival clubs, suggesting that the timing and circumstances of Rodgers' potential departure could be as significant as the act itself. Analysts point out that managerial moves are rarely isolated events. They ripple through squads, affect club culture, and often reshape competitive dynamics in the league. Rumors suggest that if Rodgers departs, a new manager's arrival could trigger immediate tactical shifts, transfer realignments, and adjustments in squad hierarchy, all of which would dominate discussion for months. Fan forums are buzzing with hypothetical scenarios, creating an almost cinematic narrative of intrigue, loyalty, and uncertainty as supporters debate whether any successor could replicate the blend of charisma, tactical acumen, and domestic success that Rodgers has delivered. This environment of expectation, tension, and speculation has transformed what might otherwise be routine club news into a national talking point, capturing the attention of casual and die-hard followers alike. Social media metrics, search trends, and engagement levels all reflect a heightened focus, demonstrating that the potential departure of Rodgers has transcended simple managerial gossip, becoming a cultural moment that intertwines football, identity, and community sentiment. Each new rumor, confirmed or otherwise, adds fuel to the fire, creating a cycle of anticipation that shows no signs of abating as fans await clarity while simultaneously bracing for the possibility of a seismic change in the heart of Scottish football. Finally, the atmosphere around Celtic Park is described as charged, almost electric, with a mixture of hope, fear, and incredulity shaping the fan experience. Rumors continue to swirl, fed by insider hints, cryptic comments, and subtle behavioral cues, each adding to the narrative that Rodgers' tenure might be drawing to a close. The potential implications are profound. Beyond immediate tactical considerations, the story touches on club identity, long-term planning, and the emotional connection between fans and management. Some supporters cling to the idea that this is merely a bluff, a strategic play to unsettle rivals or gauge reaction, while others fear that history may be repeating itself with a sudden managerial exit, leaving the squad and supporters to navigate an uncertain transition. Media coverage is relentless, with debates, interviews, and opinion pieces analyzing every possible outcome, from seamless succession to disruptive upheaval. The rumor, whether true or embellished, has become a central focus, dominating conversation in pubs, on social media, and across the airwaves, highlighting the profound influence Brendan Rodgers wields over both the team and the imagination of Scottish football fans. This scenario, teeming with tension, emotion, and speculation, perfectly encapsulates the drama and unpredictability that make football not just a sport, but a narrative tapestry, where each decision resonates far beyond the pitch, shaping culture, identity, and collective expectation. Whispers from those allegedly close to the Celtic board suggest contingency plans may already be in quiet motion, even if no official statement has been made about Brendan Rodgers' future. The idea is that no club of Celtic stature would leave themselves exposed without a clear succession strategy, especially when the possibility of a high-profile exit hangs in the air. Some insiders claim discreet conversations have taken place with potential replacements, ranging from managers already in Scotland to those plying their trade abroad but with a history of success in European competitions. The secrecy surrounding these supposed talks only adds to the mystery, feeding fan forums with endless lists of dream candidates and likely choices. Each name sparks heated debates about tactics, personality, and whether the replacement could maintain the dominance Rodgers achieved. There's even speculation that certain agents are quietly making their clients available, sensing opportunity in the uncertainty. Meanwhile, Rodgers himself remains tight-lipped in public, offering polished but evasive answers that could be interpreted in countless ways. His silence is deafening to some, reassuring to others, but undeniably strategic in keeping control of the narrative. In the absence of facts, the rumor mill grinds harder, each rotation adding a new layer of drama to this already gripping saga. Some journalists have pointed out curious changes in Celtic's recent media strategy, noting that press access to Rodgers has been subtly reduced, while statements from senior club figures have become more generic and non-committal. This shift has prompted speculation that both sides are preparing for an announcement that will require careful handling to avoid a public relations storm. Fans are beginning to draw parallels with previous high-profile managerial exits, where a period of calculated silence preceded a bombshell revelation. In pubs around Glasgow, the conversation is a mix of nostalgia for Rodgers' achievements and anxious curiosity about what comes next. Supporters are recalling iconic moments under his leadership, almost as if bracing themselves for the possibility that they may soon be part of history rather than an ongoing story. Analysts on radio shows discuss the potential financial and sporting repercussions, from transfer windows disrupted to sponsorship deals, potentially impacted by the shift in leadership. Every passing day, without clarity, intensifies the sense that something significant is brewing, turning even minor club updates into potential clues. The uncertainty has taken on a life of its own, making Celtic the focal point of Scottish football conversation in a way that transcends mere match results and league tables, becoming a cultural phenomenon of anticipation and unease. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Insider sources who claim to have contacts within the dressing room hint of mixed emotions among the players. Some, it's said, are privately devastated at the thought of losing a manager they trust, one who has improved their game and backed them in difficult moments. Others, however, are rumored to see opportunity and change, a fresh start, a chance to impress a new boss, perhaps even a shift in team dynamics that could work to their advantage. This diversity of opinion is natural in football, but in a tight-knit squad like Celtic's, it could prove pivotal in shaping the team's response should Rodgers depart. Training sessions are reportedly as intense as ever, yet there's talk of a subtle change in atmosphere, as if everyone is hyper-aware of the unspoken elephant in the room. Every tactical tweak, every personnel decision is being scrutinized for hidden meaning. Supporters on social media are analyzing match footage in forensic detail, looking for any sign of disconnection or distraction. The uncertainty isn't just affecting those inside the club, it's filtering outwards, shaping how the entire Celtic community feels about the present and imagines the future, with each new whisper of a meeting or phone call setting off fresh waves of discussion. Beyond the borders of Scotland, this rumor has begun to attract attention from the wider footballing world. In England, pundits have started to weave Rodgers' name into discussions about managerial vacancies and upcoming sack races, speculating that his skill set and experience could make him an appealing choice for struggling Premier League sides. European media outlets have also begun to take note, framing the story as a potential coup for any club able to lure him away from Celtic Park. This international attention adds a new layer of intrigue for Celtic supporters, who are now not only considering the impact of his departure on their club, but also imagining the spectacle of him appearing on touchlines in other major leagues. The more global the speculation becomes, the more it seems that Rodgers' next move could be about ambition as much as necessity. Meanwhile, in Scotland, the chatter shows no signs of slowing. Every new article, every pundit comment is dissected and debated with the fervor usually reserved for old firm clashes. The story is no longer just about Celtic. It's about Scottish football's place in a wider competitive landscape and how losing a figure like Rodgers could shift perceptions far beyond the nation's borders. Some observers argue that if Rodgers does decide to leave, His timing would be crucial in shaping how his legacy is remembered. Announcing his departure mid-season could create chaos and destabilize the squad, but it might also offer a new manager the chance to salvage objectives before the campaign's end. Waiting until the summer, however, would allow for a more controlled transition, but risk months of speculation undermining focus and performance. In either scenario, the emotional impact on the fans would be profound, and the narrative surrounding his exit would be debated for years to come. This is part of what makes the rumor so gripping. It's not just about whether he will leave, but when and how. Fans have begun to imagine farewell matches, final speeches, and tribute banners, even as others insist it's premature to talk about goodbyes. The club's official channels remain silent on the matter, neither denying nor confirming the chatter, which some interpret as a deliberate tactic to keep attention on the pitch. Yet the truth is, in a football culture as passionate as Scotland's, such speculation inevitably spills over into every aspect of fan life. From match day atmosphere to everyday conversation in workplaces and homes across the country. Even the business side of Celtic could feel the effects of Rodgers' rumored departure. Sponsors, corporate partners, and investors are said to be closely watching developments, aware that a managerial change at such a pivotal time could influence brand perception and financial forecasts. Match day revenue, merchandise sales, and even ticket renewals could be impacted by the sense of uncertainty, depending on how fans respond to news of his departure. If it comes, the relationship between club leadership and supporters is delicate, built on trust and transparency, and any mishandling of this transition could cause long-lasting damage. On the other hand, a well-managed exit with a compelling replacement and clear vision for the future could soften the blow and even revitalize certain aspects of the club's operations. The unpredictability of the current situation makes it difficult for analysts to project outcomes with confidence, which only fuels more conversation. For now, the Celtic board's silence is as much a part of the story as the rumor itself, leaving the fan base caught in a state of suspended anticipation, where every official announcement, regardless of topic, is greeted with a surge of adrenaline in case it turns out to be the announcement everyone is waiting for. The emotional weight of this rumor cannot be overstated, particularly for a fan base that has embraced Rodgers as not just a manager, but a figurehead. His tenure has been defined by success, style, and a connection with supporters that goes beyond results, making the idea of his departure all the more difficult to process. In fan forums and supporter podcasts, conversations have shifted from tactical analysis of upcoming matches to emotional reflections on what Rodgers has meant to them personally. This deep sense of attachment is part of what makes the speculation so potent. It's not just a managerial change, it's the potential end of an era. Older fans draw comparisons to iconic figures of Celtic's past, recalling moments when the club faced similar crossroads, while younger supporters grapple with the idea that the only Celtic they've known could soon look very different. The blend of pride, gratitude, anxiety, and suspicion is creating a unique atmosphere where match days feel like both a celebration of the present and a countdown to an uncertain future. The speculation may be just that, speculation, but its emotional resonance is very real, shaping the mood of a fan base fiercely protective of its identity and heritage. Ultimately, whether this rumor proves true or not, it has already achieved something remarkable. It has united fans, media, and even rivals in a shared state of watchful anticipation. Every twist and turn of the narrative has been met with intense engagement, transforming what began as a whisper into a dominant storyline in Scottish sport. In many ways, the speculation reflects the very nature of football fandom. The hope, the fear, the drama, and the endless appetite for stories that transcend the pitch. Rodgers, knowingly or not, has become the central character in a saga that feels bigger than any single season, a story that could end with a triumphant continuation or a dramatic farewell. Until clarity comes, the rumor will live on, fueled by every evasive answer, every reported meeting, and every knowing look caught on camera. And perhaps that's the most fitting twist of all. In a sport built on uncertainty and passion, the waiting itself becomes part of the spectacle, a shared experience that binds fans together in anticipation of the moment when the truth, whatever, it maybe finally emerges. Until then, Celtic Park will remain a stage set for one of the most talked about managerial stories in recent Scottish football history. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.